Stop filling raised beds with compost because it is slowing your garden down. If you are still filling raised beds with nothing but compost, you are wasting money, exhausting soil biology, and creating beds that collapse, dry out, and underperform after a single season. This is one of the most common mistakes serious gardeners make, and it is quietly killing long-term soil health. The Amish figured this out generations ago, and their shortcut builds deeper fertility, better moisture retention, and stronger crops without constant inputs. Once you understand this system, you will never fill a raised bed with straight compost again. Compost alone is not soil, and that distinction matters more than most gardeners realize. Compost is a soil amendment, not a growing medium. When you fill a raised bed entirely with compost, you are building something that looks rich, but behaves like a sponge made of cotton candy. It breaks down fast, shrinks dramatically, overheats roots in summer, and leaves plants hungry by mid-season. That is why so many raised beds perform beautifully in year 1 and then struggle in year 2. Real soil has structure, mineral content, air pockets, fungal networks, and slow-release carbon sources. Compost alone cannot provide that, no matter how good it looks. The Amish shortcut works because it copies how fertile soil is built in nature. The Amish approach is not trendy, and it is not complicated. It is simply layered soil building that prioritizes bulk materials and slow decomposition rather than fast fertility. Forest floors, old pastures, and productive farmland are not made of compost piles. They are built from mineral soil mixed with decaying plant matter, roots, manure, and woody carbon that feeds soil life over years instead of weeks. This shortcut focuses on filling raised beds mostly with inexpensive, stable materials and using compost as a finishing ingredient rather than the foundation. Start with bulk soil, because minerals are the backbone of long-term fertility. The base of an Amish-style raised bed is ordinary topsoil or garden soil, making up roughly 60% of the total volume. This can be native soil, screened topsoil, or soil dug from another area of your property. The key is mineral content. Clay, silt, and sand particles hold nutrients, anchor microbial life, and prevent beds from collapsing over time. If you are filling a 12-inch deep raised bed, the bottom 7 inches should be mineral soil. This alone solves most raised bed problems before plants even go in. Add slow carbon sources to feed soil life instead of burning it out. On top of the mineral soil layer, the Amish add bulky organic matter that decomposes slowly. This is where leaf mold, aged wood chips, straw, old hay, or shredded stalks come in. This layer should make up about 20 to 25% of the bed depth. In a 12-inch bed, that means roughly 3 inches of loose organic material mixed lightly into the top of the soil. This carbon layer feeds fungi, stabilizes moisture, and prevents nitrogen loss. Unlike compost, it does not disappear in one season. Use manure wisely because fertility should be steady, not explosive. Well-rotted cow, horse, goat, or poultry manure should account for about 10% of the bed volume. In practice, that means a 1-inch layer spread evenly and lightly incorporated into the top few inches of soil. This provides nitrogen and microbes without creating salt buildup or burning roots. The Amish rely on animals for a reason, but they never let manure dominate the bed. Finish with compost as a surface layer, not the foundation. Compost still has value, but only when used correctly. The final layer should be no more than 1 to 2 inches of finished compost spread across the surface. This acts as a biological inoculant and a gentle nutrient boost, not the main growing medium. When plants are set, their roots quickly grow through the compost into real soil, where moisture and nutrients remain stable all season. So, let's look at a practical example for filling a standard 4x8 raised bed. A 4x8 bed that's 12 inches deep will hold about 32 cubic feet of material. Using this method, you would fill about 19 cubic feet with topsoil, 8 cubic feet with leaf mold, or a similar carbon material, 3 cubic feet with aged manure, and then finish off with 2 cubic feet of compost. When mixed properly, this bed will settle very little, stay moist for longer, and actually improve every season instead of degrading. What's really brilliant is that this system actually gets better each year instead of demanding constant refills. Unlike compost-only beds, this approach builds soil that matures over time. Worms pull organic matter downward, fungi expand through the woody material, and roots leave behind channels that really help with drainage and oxygen flow. Each autumn, all you need is a thin top dressing of compost or shredded leaves. No digging, no refilling, and no expensive inputs. Honestly, this is why Amish gardens look so effortless, even when they're producing heavily. It's time to stop chasing fast results and start building soil that truly works for you. Raised beds are meant to simplify gardening, not turn it into an endless compost addiction. By using this old-world shortcut, you're creating beds that hold water during drought, drain well during heavy rain, and feed your plants steadily from seed to harvest. This right here is real soil building, not just container gardening in disguise. If this guide has helped you rethink how you build your raised beds, make sure you subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more practical, no-nonsense gardening knowledge. Share this with a fellow gardener who's tired of refilling beds every year, and remember, keep growing smarter, not harder.